Hi, I am Igor Vitale and I give you my welcome to this lesson about psychotraumatology. This lesson is a part of the project called 1 Minute May Save a Life, led by Zivac Group. Psychotraumatology may be defined as the study of psychological trauma. It's in other words the study of the factors and processes that underline and/or are subsequent to psychological traumatization. We need to be clear in regards to the definition because the term trauma by itself may lead and/or be confused with medical fields. Therefore, the addition of the word psycho in front of traumatology is used so as to be very clear in regards to this field. Elements of psychotraumatology. Doubtless, specialists will not be confused by the term, but in order to avoid confusion for the public, this specific wording is used. Keep in mind that the labels were subject to many debates. Traumatology by itself is the medical field that deals with wounds and injuries. The concept of psychological trauma is not a new one. In fact, it dates back to the classical age, though it has not been mentioned or studied in depth. Cursory observation might have been noted, such as this example that follows. In Napoleonic War 24, century later, General Sir Thomas Picton wrote to Lord Wellington, "My lord, I must give up. I'm grown so nervous. It's impossible for me to sleep at night. I cannot possibly stand it, and I should be forced to retire." It was during World War I that a more careful study of post-traumatic stress disorder began to get more solid foundation. Even then, at that time, there was a lot of ambiguity in what constitutes psychotraumatology. Various terms back then were used to define or describe this condition. For example, terms like shell shock, soldier's heart, battle fatigue, gross stress reaction, and traumatic neurosis have all been employed as diagnostic label. Nevertheless, some estimate to indeed exist. During the American Civil War, psychiatric casualties were estimated at between 2.3 and 3.3 per 1,000 troops. During World War I, the prevalence rose to 4.0 per 1,000. Data generated from the National Vietnam Veterans Readjustment Study by Kulka and colleagues in 1990 revealed the lifetime prevalence of PTSD to be 30%, with 50.2% of Vietnam veterans showing a current diagnosis of PTSD. Traumatic events that can cause PTSD include war, natural disasters, car, train or plane crash, terrorist attacks, sudden death of a loved one, rape, kidnapping, assaults, sexual or physical abuse, childhood neglect. We need to keep in mind that psychotraumatology is not only PTSD related, but the spectrum of disorder includes PSTD, acute stress disorders, dissociative disorders, and brief psychotic disorders with marked stressors. Moreover, PSTD may derive from alcohol abuse. In addition, various mood disorders, panic disorders, phobias, family dysfunction, various patterns of compulsivity, and various eating disorders may be coming about from a form of psychological trauma. The spectrum of disorder has become a field of its own mental health worker, getting postgraduate training and education in order to be adequately prepared to handle situations with people that are or reside in that state of affair. In the manual of 1 Minute May Save a Life project, you can find all the criteria to define PTSD situation and diagnosis. However, in this lesson, we will focus about the response to trauma. Prior to any traumatic event or trauma occurs, most people have a steady routine of job, family, and friends, and most live and thrive on the average lifestyle. People that do dangerous work may have an inbuilt defensive system to protect them from experiencing severe traumas. Naturally, soldiers that have been in combat may have complex forms of trauma, which is unnatural given the level of danger one experiences in war. Dispatchers, for example, may not have so easily complex PTSD. Such cases, if any, might be quite rare. Examples of complex PTSD might include a child that has for years been beaten and or molested, along with having the experience of threats to his or her life, such regular beatings by an alcoholic father. Dispatchers may more easily fit into the burnout traumatic events, but in this chapter we will explore the response to trauma and we will make a separate note for dispatchers. The essence as pertains to how one heals trauma, therefore this chapter will not focus exclusively on dispatchers or callers, even if the emphasis is on dispatchers. The reason is that we need first to explore trauma theory and therapy of it before we proceed to a more specific task and or target groups such as dispatchers. Most people have a routine, usually one that views things positively or that good things will happen. Then trauma strikes instantly. You lose control of your life, of your thoughts, and your own body may feel weird. You will be no longer safe and secure. You feel vulnerable, and life has no meaning, nor can you make sense of what is happening around you. Life may no longer appear as just. A trauma can impact on your life, on your relationship, on your work, thoughts, behaviors, dreams, and hopes. The first thing to do is to recognize the fact that you have been impacted by a trauma. This is the first step. As soon as that occurs, one can begin to reorder his or her life around. Therefore, the individual must seek help as soon as possible so that he can manage the situation and condition. There are various forms of techniques that have been evolved over the years to alter help. Education is one form of help. Simply put, a person who suffers from a trauma will be given a clinical literature in order to make him get acquainted with the basic foundation of the problem he or she experiences. One might, after a client from example an overview of the criteria that define PTSD or other forms of trauma disorder. This way will make a person understand that the criteria he sees represent him and that he is not alone. It may make a person understand that the clinician who oversees him has experience and can treat him. It puts people at ease because they don't feel as alone as before. Naturally, educating a person about neurobiology or the autonomic nervous system may not initially both be that easy, but the educator is interested in explaining the basic concept of fight-flight mechanism and not to teach a course in neurobiology. Without turning education into a didactic exercise and without burdening the client with an unsolicited instruction, one can convey the fact that lethal threats has a powerful impact on body chemistry, that our adrenal glands are stimulated, that we are prepared to fight or flee as if we are facing a wild beast. That of this circuitry is out of date destructive when we face threats in modern society, that PTSD is predictable outcome in general after extraordinary stress. We might also alter analogous cases where other people experience similar symptoms and in general bring the client in an up-to-date knowledge of what constitutes a condition he or she suffers. Thus, educating the person that is afflicted by this condition enhances his understanding and self-control over the situation. The first important exercise is called physical activity. A balanced program that enhances a patient's coping skills will be necessary to include balance, motivation, and listen to your body. In other words, do not do anything in excess. Main parts of this exercise might include cardiovascular efficiency and flexibility, as well as attaining muscular strength. Naturally, most people that suffer from traumas are hardly in the condition to undertake physical activity as a way to cope with the condition that bothers them. We keep that in mind, but unless there are medical issues that might be prohibited a client from starting physical activity, the therapist should encourage patients to start as soon as possible on that path. Nutrition is the second one. Nowadays, people are aware of the value nutrition has on the efficiency of the body. Most people know that junk food may in fact dampen our moods and that a healthy diet is a therapeutic tool both for the mind as well as the body. Food intake, depending on what it may in fact contribute positively to a therapy program, is in fact considered a contributing factor to how well one may get. Any program that is meant to treat trauma or any of its forms has to be by necessity include nutrition. A nutrition expert might be a great value and clients will be urged to seek one. Spirituality. This by itself is a delicate subject and most therapists will not touch. For in many people this area is a great interest and concern to them. A therapist should not bring out in the front this aspect, he has to get to know the person well. For some clients this area might be a great assistance to them, while for others it might not be. Social interaction. Figley states a supportive family is the ideal social group for healthy post-traumatic healing. Obviously, the implication is that such families are not easy to come, but then might prove to be invaluable for a patient who has a stable family unit. Self-help groups. These groups may be of great importance to the person that visits them, though they need to have effective leaders. Members have to be compatible for the group to work, though some groups might do not harm them good if they are not structured well. Psychotherapy. A therapist will most likely be the most specialized individual to guide the client through the maze. I will not delve too much on the importance of a good therapist, for this is self-evident. The personality and character of the therapist play a crucial role on how fast a person heals. Instead, I will focus more on the techniques that are used as a response to trauma. Let's see the first one, called relaxation and breathing techniques. These techniques should be practiced regularly, perhaps twice a day for a couple of months. According to Benson, a person that does them after will have reduced symptoms of anxiety, fewer headaches and less high blood pressure, a way to prevent hyperventilation, a way to gain more control over a panic attack, a way to reduce stress levels, a way to feel more at peace, experience more creativity. Before doing any relaxation technique, it's important to have 4 basic elements present. They are: a quiet environment that has as few distractions as possible. Even background noise can be a distraction. It's also important that you will not be interrupted. A mental device that is constant, a single syllable word of sounds repeated silently or in low, gentle tone. The repetition frees your thoughts and is your single focus. Benson suggests using the syllable one because it's simple, neutral word. A passive attitude to help you rest and relax without forcing your response, preventing your relaxed response from occurring. Disregard any distracting thoughts that enters in your mind. A comfortable position that is as restful as possible. This reduces muscular effort. You may support your head and arms. You may remove your shoes and prop your feet up several inches if you choose. You may also loosen tight-fitting clothes. Exercise. Deep breathing. The first exercise is adapted from Davis, Esselman and McKay. Lie down on a blanket or rug on the floor, bend your knees up toward you and move your feet until they are about 8 inches apart, with your toes turned slightly outwards. Keep your spine as straight as possible. Keep your spine as straight as possible. Scan your entire body and identify any places that hold tension. Put one hand on your abdomen and one on your chest. Inhale slowly through your nose into your abdomen so that it pushes your hand up. Inhale slowly through your nose into your abdomen so that it pushes your hand up. Your chest should move only a little bit. Hold your breath while you count to 5. Smile slightly and then exhale through your mouth, taking as long as possible. Make a shushing sound as you exhale. 6. Repeat it at least 5 times, perhaps eventually increasing the amount of the time you spend deep breathing to 5 to 10 minutes. When you finish the exercise, again scan your entire body to see if any tension remains. When you are familiar with the technique, you can also use it while you are sitting or standing whenever you feel tenseness in your body. Now let's see a new exercise called progressive relaxation. You might also want to learn to relax by tensing and relaxing various muscle groups in your body. This is done using a technique called progressive relaxation. This technique helps you tense and then relax your 4 major muscle groups. 1. Hands, forearms, biceps. B. 2. Head, face, throat, shoulders. 3. Chest, stomach, lower back. 4. Buttocks, thighs, calves, feet. You may practice this technique while you're lying down or sitting in a chair. The goal is to tense each muscle group for 5 to 7 seconds and then relax the muscle group for 20 to 30 seconds, repeating the whole procedure at least twice. If the muscle group is still tense after you've done the procedure twice, you can repeat it from that group alone up to 5 times. You may also talk to yourself as you tense and relax, telling yourself anything that has to do with letting go of tension. There are numerous relaxation tapes you can buy that have this procedure, or you can read the following exercise into a tape recorder and then play it back. Another way to use progressive relaxation is to hold tension in each of your muscle groups for about 5 seconds and then release the tension slowly while you say silently relax and let go. Then take a deep breath and as you breathe out slowly silently say relax and let go again. Exercise. Basic progressive relaxation sequence. The sequence takes you from your head through your neck, shoulders, arms and hands, chest, back, stomach, hips, legs and feet. If you do make a tape of this exercise or the one that follows, allow enough time to each exercise, 5 to 7 seconds to tense, 20 to 30 seconds to relax on the tape so you do not rush yourself. Also put in 2 repetitions from each exercise. Wrinkle your forehead, squint your eyes tightly, open your mouth wide. Push your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Clench your jaw tightly. Push your head back into a pillow. Bring your head forward to touch your chest. Roll your head to your right shoulder. Roll your head to your left shoulder. Shrug your shoulder up as if to touch your ears. Shrug your right shoulders up as if to touch your ear. Shrug your left shoulder up as if to touch your ear. Hold your arms out and make a fist with each hand. One side at a time, push your hand down into the surface where you are practicing. One side at a time, make a fist, bend your arm and your elbow and tighten up your arm while holding the fist. Take a deep breath and hold. Tighten your chin muscle. Tighten your chest muscles. Arch your back. Tighten your stomach area. Push your stomach area out. Push your stomach area in. Tighten your hips. Push the heels of your feet into the surface where you're practicing. Tighten your leg muscles below the knee. Curl your toe under as if to touch the bottoms of your feet. Bring your toes up as if to touch your knees. Exercise quick relaxation. Another quick way to relax is with all muscle groups, tensing them from 5 to 7 seconds and then relaxing them. This exercise is also adapted from Davis, Esselman and McKay in a text of 1995. 1. Curl both fists and tighten your biceps and forearms as if were a weightlifter posing, then relax. 2. Wrinkle your forehead and at the same time press your head as far back as is possible and roll it in a complete circle clockwise. Then reverse the roll. Then wrinkle up the muscle of your face in a frown with squinted eyes, pursed lips, tongue pressed on the roof of your mouth, and shoulders scrunched up. Then relax. 3. Arch back and take a breath into your chest. Hold it for 5 seconds and then relax. Take another deep breath, pressing out your stomach. Hold it for 5 seconds and then relax. 4. Pull your feet and toes back toward your face, tightening your shins. Then curl your toes and tighten your calves, thighs and buttocks at the same time. Relax. Successful deep muscle relaxation as a matter of practice. You may talk to yourself as you try to relax and tell yourself to let go or to relax deeper in order to achieve a more complete relaxation. If you have muscle weakness or a muscular condition such fibromyalgia, this exercise may not be for you. Check with your physician first. First, find a comfortable position and close your eyes. For the next few moments, concentrate on your breathing. Use deep breathing. Try to see and feel your lungs, sensing how they feel as you breathe in. Pause, trying to make them completely expanded. And then exhaling and sensing how they feel as you release your breath. There is no right or wrong way to breathe. What is important is that you try to relax and not worry about any of things happening in your everyday life. Continue to concentrate on your breathing and your lungs, picturing them as you inhale, imagining them filling with strengthening oxygen, and picturing them exhaling as you relax. Now, in your mind's eye, see or hear the message that say relax all over. In every bone, muscle and nerve tissue, feeling sensation of melting into relaxation. Next, bring your attention to your left foot and ankle, and as you inhale, gently flex your foot. As you exhale, release and relax your foot. Now bring your attention to your right foot and ankle, and as you inhale, gently flex your foot. As you exhale, release and relax your foot. Let all these cares of the day drain out through your feet. Any noise you hear will only deepen your relaxation. Now feel the muscle of your left calf. Inhale, contracting the muscle of your left calf, and exhale, letting the calf relax. Now feel the muscle of your right calf. Inhale, contracting those muscles, and exhale, letting them completely relax. Of course, adjust your breathing rhythm to what is more comfortable for you, remembering to inhale relaxation, peace and self-love, and to exhale tension, the pressure of the day, and the impacts of trauma on you. Relaxing in this way is a learning process. It's a way to learn to be at ease, to be at peace with yourself, to be at peace with your world, and to relax. Now, bring your attention to the muscle of your left thigh. Inhale and contract these muscles, then exhale and feel relaxation pour in. Next, bring your attention to the muscle of your right thigh. Inhale and contract them, then exhale, feeling release through both your legs. Now, shift your focus to your buttocks, inhaling and contracting the muscles. Then exhale and let your bottom relax. Next, shift your focus to your stomach, inhaling and contracting your stomach muscles. Then exhale, letting your stomach muscle relax, relax, relax. Now, bring your attention to your chest and inhale, feeling your chest filled with oxygen and power. As you exhale, release and tightness that may be there as you release all the tension that are bothering you. Try to feel the feeling of relaxation as a conscious process in your mind and body. Now, bring your attention to your hands. As you inhale, close both of your hands tightly, making fists. As you exhale, release the fists. As you do so, consciously try to let go of everything onto which you are grasping and to relax. You may open your palms as you relax to receive warmth and vitalizing energy from the world around you. You may also bring your palms cupped closer and closer together until you feel the energy that is between them. As you do the exercise, allow the sense of relaxation and energy to move upwards through your hands into your forearms, elbows and shoulders. Next, focus your attention on your shoulders. As you inhale, contract your shoulders. Hold them for a few seconds in this position, and then, as you exhale, feel the tension that they've held release outwards from them. Feel the point between your shoulders and the base of your neck. Allow warm energy to melt away any built-up tension and pressure that has been stuck there. Now, feel the warm energy move up through your neck, allowing your neck to release and support your head as your neck completely relaxes. Finally, turn your attention to muscles of your face. Gently tense the muscles of your chin, your mouth, your eyes, your cheeks, and your forehead. Then, let your entire face loosen and relax. Enjoy the relaxation you feel through your entire body for a few moments. If any part of your body is not completely relaxed, turn your attention to it. Inhale and let the last bits of tension melt out and that part of your body. If your attention drifts or if you feel drowsy, it's perfectly alright as long as you're safe, comfortable and relaxed. This script is adapted from Rosenblum and Williams 1999, and I give you my congratulations if you follow the instruction in this exercise and you find yourself relaxed. But let's go to the next exercise called Trying Meditation for Relaxation. Some persons use meditation to relax and to calm themselves as they seek heightened concentration and awareness. If you're new at meditating, thoughts may come in to distract you as you try to calm and quiet your mind. If this happens, you may try to use some imagery to focus your awareness before doing the meditation. If you are able to create clear mental images of the following scenes or things, you might then be able to direct your focus to relaxing. Try to create a clear mental image right now of the face of your best friend, a turkey waiting to be carved, your bedroom in your present home, a glass of cold lemonade, a field of wild flowers, the aroma of cooking spaghetti sauce, riding in a race car at the racetrack, your bare feet on a sandy beach, the touch of velvet in your skin, a cat mewing, Use one of these images to focus your attention and then focus on meditating. If worries keep on entering, allow them to wander through your focus, noting them and allowing them to continue on without concentrating on them. It's also important to know how to deep breath and relax before you try to meditate. If this doesn't work, you may repeat a word or a syllable, such as one or om, over and over again, as Benson suggested in 1975. Try this at first for 5 to 10 minutes, increasing it to 15 minutes if you can. Another technique is to identify and write down what has happened to you. That was you organize and synthesize much better what has occurred in your mind and body. Pennebaker says that writing about upsetting experience is beneficial to health and well-being. You might decide to write every once in a while about your traumatic experiences using a personal journal, or you might contract with yourself to follow Pennebaker and Campbell writing plan of 2000. If you want to spend more time and feel emotionally ready to take an in-depth look at one or more of your traumatic experiences, Pennebaker suggests you to use a 4-day time period to write about them. During these 4 days, write for 20 minutes each day. Your only rule is to write continuously from the entered time. If you run out of things to say, just repeat what you've already written. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, or sentence structure. The following exercise guides you through this 4-day plan. You may do this exercise now or return to it later. You may feel sad or depressed when you finish this daily writing assignment. If so, remember that your reactions are completely normal. Most people say that these feelings go away an hour or so after you finish. Note: if you have experienced extreme, massive amount of trauma, this exercise may be too re-traumatizing. If you use this technique, remember to write about the most traumatic, upsetting experiences of your life. In your writing, really let go and explore your deepest thoughts and emotions. You can write about the same traumatic experience on all 4 days, or about a different experience each day. In addition to writing about your traumatic experience, you can use this technique to write about major conflicts or problems that you have experienced or are experiencing now, including those that have resulted from traumatic events. It's critical that you really delve into yourself, into significant experiences or conflicts that you've not discussed in great detail with others. You might also tie your personal experiences of trauma to other parts of your life as you write. How are they related to your childhood, your parents, those you love, who you are, or who you want to be? Writing is an act of release, taking all the stuff of trauma that has bound you up and controlled you and releasing it to the universe. Writing may help you reduce your inhibitions about disclosing what happened to you and may encourage changes in the way you view your traumas. As you write, you may begin with only a few incoherent sentences and end up with a rather coherent story. Before you begin to write, however, you might want to review your list of traumatic experience. It may help you to realize that your own traumatic life experiences may or may not be considered traumatic by others. Dealing with flashbacks. A flashback is a memory of the past that intrudes into the present and makes the past seem as if it's actually occurring in the here and now. Matsakis defines a flashback as a sudden, vivid recollection of a traumatic event accompanied by strong emotion. A flashback can occur as a slight blip in time, and it can be a memory of an entire experience, occurring in real time just as it did in the past. This type of flashback is called an abreaction. Generally, the occurrence of a flashback cannot be predicted. Generally, flashbacks refer to visual and/or auditory parts of the trauma, but they can also refer to body memories such as pain, emotion, intense anger that comes out of nowhere, and behaviors, acting in a certain ways when a trigger comes up. Whenever a flashback happens, it feels as if the trauma is occurring all over again. You do not black out, dissociate, or lose consciousness during a flashback, but you do leave the present time temporarily. Rothschild says that memories bounce into the present unbidden in the form of flashbacks that can reinforce terror and feelings of helplessness. A flashback that occurs during sleep can be a nightmare or even a vivid dream. Makenbaum notes that flashbacks also can appear in intrusive thoughts of re-experiences or as intense feelings. Let's see dealing with numbing and dissociation. Trauma experts such as Wilson and Courtois gives us other ways to deal with numbing. 1. Lessen your effort to try to avoid memories of the trauma. 2. Increase your contact with others. Join some type of social organization. 3. Lessen your use of self-medication of any kind. 4. Work on your belief system. Perhaps using workbooks such as Life After Trauma, a workbook for healing by Rosenblum and Williams. 5. Learn to appraise the threat in situation using your head, not your emotions. 6. Look at losses trauma has caused you and develop a plan to work through them. 7. Work on identifying triggers that cause you to numb out. 8. Learn to stay more present in your safe place. 9. Use the grounding technique you have learned to separate the past trauma from the present. 10. Learn to pace yourself and how you deal with your trauma. Set up a certain time period during a day or week to work on your traumas. Journal or do a trauma-inspired craft. 11. Develop a flowers diagram about a part of the trauma that bothers you most and that you most want to avoid. Use the flower diagram exercise at the end of this lesson or make a copy in your journal or notebook. Techniques for sleeping. Many survivors of trauma have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. In fact, Matsakis says that sleeping problems are perhaps the most persistent in PTSD symptoms. To be sure, getting to sleep and staying asleep can be a challenge if you don't suffer from PTSD. To be sure, getting to sleep and staying asleep can be a challenge even if you don't suffer from PTSD. It's possible for anyone to sleep better by improving their sleeping environment, by removing triggers from that environment, creating an atmosphere conducive to sleep, and using good sleep practices. As a trauma survivor, it's important that you prepare yourself for sleep. One way is to avoid seeing, hearing, and thinking about traumatic things before going to bed. If you watch television or videos late at night, choose things that are light and free from triggers of your traumas. For example, if you survived a natural disaster, don't choose something with sirens or fire or devastation. Think about positive things in your life as you go to bed. Put on soothing music or a tape of waves, sounds, and gentle rain or other soothing sounds. You may also want to try a different sleep schedule. If you are a night person, wait until midnight to go to bed and then get up at 7 or 8 if possible, if you need that much sleep. Try to avoid using over-the-counter or not prescribed drugs or substances to numb yourself into sleeping. However, you may turn to a cup of warm milk or some turkey, both of which contain L-tryptophan, a soothing amino acid, to help you relax. Or if you may take melatonin if your doctor agrees that it does not interfere with any medication you take. If you were traumatized during sleep or in a bedroom, it's very important for you to identify any parts of your bedroom or of sleep that might trigger you. Develop a trigger list for sleep or for the room. For example, if your room now happens to have the same color that your room you were traumatized in was, you may paint it as a different color. If your furniture is arranged in a similar fashion, you may change that arrangement. Begin to change things that are possible to change. If your partner is not a safe sleeper, you may want to talk with him and her about alternatives, including use twin beds or agreeing on ways to wake up your partner when they are the triggers. Kelly liked to sleep on a mat in the corner of her bedroom. She couldn't understand why. In the middle of the night she would leave her queen-size bed and end up on the floor on this mat. As she began to work on her past trauma, she realized that she had been molested on a queen-size bed as a child. She began to work on ways to make her bed and bedroom safe. She got rid of the queen-size bed and bought a twin bed, which she put against the wall. She then slept with her back to that wall to protect herself. Researchers have worked out with many ways to might improve your chances of a good sleep. The following list is adapted from Matsakis and from the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments of 2001. If there are things that worked for you in the past and made your sleeping easier, try them again. If there are things that are not worked, even if others suggest them, don't try them. 1. Physically exercise sometimes during the day, but not right before bed. 2. Listen to relaxing music. 3. Listen to a relaxation tape. 4. Practice relaxation technique before going to bed. 5. Pray. 6. Medicate with prescribed medication. 7. Talks to others in order to can soothe you and calm you before you go to bed. Don't argue. 8. Write or talk into a tape into your day, but not about your traumatic experiences. 9. Eat something light and avoid caffeine. 10. Try not to drink anything in the 2 hours before going to bed so you don't have to get up to go to the bathroom. 11. Do a boring task. 12. Read a very boring book. 13. Get up at the set time no matter what time you fell asleep. 14. Sleep in the same place. Don't bed up or place up. The bed is for sleep and not the living room couch. 15. Set the thermostat at a comfortable, cool temperature. 16. Use a night light if necessary. 17. Take a walk in the late afternoon or early evening to tire yourself out and raise your body temperature. Falling temperature after you stop your walk sometimes make you sleepy. If you find you have trouble falling asleep because you worry a lot, schedule worry time during the day and use up to time at least 2 hours before you plan to go to bed. 19. Keep a record of number of hours you sleep each day and how you feel after you have slept so you can look for sleep patterns. 20. Check with your doctor to see if any medication you're taking get in the way of sleep. 12. Use a white noise machine or wear earplugs if it's safe not to hear to drown out noises that may get up in the way of sleeping. For example, the music from a noisy neighbor or street traffic noises. 22. Take a warm bath about 4 hours before bedtime. As your body cools down after your bath, you may find it easier to fall asleep. Follow a set bedtime routine such as the following. 1. Choose a regular bedtime that works for your needs and then go to bed at this time for at least 1 week. 2. About 2 hours before that bedtime, use the ability you have to contain numb or to avoid traumatic reminders to put away any issues about trauma recovery. 3. Do something relaxing. 4. Begin to get ready for bed at least 1 hour before your actual bedtime by doing your personal care routines. Get your clothes out for the morning, brush your teeth. Check out your room and make sure it's safe. And 5. Check out your room and make sure it's safe and comfortable. Check your closets, windows and doors. Put away anything that may trigger nightmares, flashbacks or intrusive thoughts, pictures, drawings, belongings and other things. 6. Gather anything you want to have in bed with you, spatial cover, stuffed animal, pets. 7. Continue to contain any thoughts and feelings that might trouble you. 8. Use a relaxation technique of some kind to help you get to sleep. 9. Lie down and give yourself permission to sleep. 10. If you hear music or a tape, turn it on. 11. Close your eyes and go for it. I would like to thank you for your participation to this lesson, and we will continue with the last one about lie detection technique. I say to you hello from Igor.